And welcome to round two of interactive presentations. I say round two because I forgot to hit record the first time. So luckily, Heather Jeffers was nice enough to come back and help us make a video for this one for those of you that could make it. So the first thing I always like to talk about is this screen that I always have up when I have my little sessions with people to kind of remind them what to do. You can steal this or use this if you'd like for your classes. Today's presentation is going to be about interactive presentations. There is a reason that I am not in present mode, and Heather will get to that in a little bit. But without further ado, here is Heather Jeffers.
Okay, so I'm going to go over a few examples for how you can use Google Slides for interactive presentations. And the first thing that you would have probably in your presentation is some sort of direct instruction for students that you would then want them practicing with the interactive piece. So I've been working a lot with the language arts department. So this is something that we've done there. So there was some direct instruction on compound sentences. And then we go to a slide that asks students or tells them that it's time to practice and asks them to take the presentation out of presentation mode. So then they know to press escape so it can get into the interactive part. So one of the ways that this could look is that students could be asked to sort things into different categories. So for language arts, for this example, they were taking these sentences and sorting them like based on which ones should have a comma, so which ones are compound sentences, and which ones shouldn't have a comma, so which ones are simple sentences. But however sorting could look like in your discipline, you could have students do that. And you'll notice that the only thing I can click on here are the pieces that I want students interacting with. So the sentences are what they're interacting with, so that's the only piece of the slide they can click on. And then the next slide, we wanted them to be able to check their work. So they can remove the boxes and check their work underneath. And there's an explanation as well. But you'll notice now I cannot click on the sentences where I could before, but that's not the piece they're interacting with on this slide. They're just interacting with the black boxes so they can check their work. And if you want to kind of freeze the background on your own slides, the way that you can do that is through the use of the snipping tool. So I inserted a GIF here to kind of show you how that would work. Essentially, you create your slide, everything that you want to be frozen, and then use the snipping tool to take a picture of that background. And then you can set that picture as the background of a slide so that it's frozen in place, and then just add in the interactive pieces. So that GIF kind of walks you through how you would go about doing that. But any coach in any building could also help you out with moving through that process. Another way that we had students interacting with slides is for this example, they were just moving commas to where they belong. And then on that actual slide, they could remove the black boxes so they could check their work. So something like that, however that looks in your discipline, could work as well. Another option that teachers have found super helpful is with a formative check at the end of a slide deck. So here I have different groups of sentences, and students are asked to move over the one where everything is punctuated correctly. So when they do that, you'll notice that they're different colors, and it's then by color that I can tell if students got things correct, because I would then ask them to move that formative check from the end of the slide to the beginning of the slide. And that makes my life super easy as a teacher, because then when I open Google Classroom, it's easy for me to see, first of all, who's completed the work and who hasn't, and who got it correct and who didn't. So for example, this would be up here is before any student interacted with the slide. The thumbnail at the front is the first slide that I had. But then at the end, I can see, Stacy Giesick didn't do her work. So because she hasn't moved her last slide to the beginning. But then these three students have done their work, and I can see what they chose. And I know as the teacher, it's the green box that was the correct answer. So I know I need to follow up either with my whole class or with certain with certain students without actually having to go into each slide deck and open it. I can just go into my Google Classroom and see how everyone's doing as a whole. Another option would be that I can move in and out of interactive slides. So for this one, we're having students highlight things and type a response. And then the next slide tells them to go back into presentation mode. So students would then go back into presentation mode to engage with the next piece of direct instruction. So then I know, okay, now we're going back to different practice. And then you can have them exit presentation mode again to do practice with that next topic. And for example, this one, they're instead of moving sentences or text, they're moving pictures based on what would be the best. So if you're science, maybe it's producers and consumers, or if you're math, maybe they're moving different graphs around. So those are just some ways that you could do some interaction with Google Slides. There's Cassidy.
Awesome job, Heather. And great stuff there. There's so many things I think we don't think about was moving things from off the screen, because sometimes we kind of forget that we can do those. So love that. There's lots of different avenues that we can use for every class. Next, I'm going to get into Edpuzzle. And why would we use Edpuzzle? I look at the 3 different reasons for Edpuzzle. Is it's interactive, and the students have to be engaged with the video, not just watch it. So you can know if they watch it, number 1. You can know if they understand it, number 2, and then where they're getting lost, if they are on an Edpuzzle video. It also allows for you to give instant feedback, so you don't have to actually wait till the next day to intervene, or you don't have to you make sure that they understand it before the lesson is over, so they don't kind of deepen those misconceptions by learning things differently. Finally, there's differentiation, which we're going to get into, built into the actual Edpuzzle video. So what is an Edpuzzle? Edpuzzle is a program where you take a video and you can embed questions, you can embed recordings or notes right into the video. So you look down here, when this video gets to this point, boom, a question pops up. So you can make that. Start really simple with, did you watch this video? You can get more enhanced as you move on. Well, the best way for me to know or to show you what an Edpuzzle is to actually go through an Edpuzzle. So click on this example right here on the slide deck, and then you'll be able to do that. So go ahead and pause your video now while you take your Edpuzzle video, and then come on back. Great job. I am sure that you got 100%. Awesome. I am so proud of you. So now what can you do with all the data that you get back from an Edpuzzle? Well, number 1, you can look and you can see which students watched it, and you can see red if they need help, yellow if they're kind of in the middle, and green means they really got it. So you can kind of see student score on one page. Makes it super simple for you to check for an entire class. You can look at individual student feedback, and you can leave comments for each individual student. So over here, you can see this student watched it 1 time. Ooh, but over here, they had to watch this part twice. So I can look that they went back. So maybe that's something that I want to struggle, they might struggle with. So I want to go back and look at. I can also leave comments for each student. So I can go to each student's individual question and comment on theirs and send that back to them. Okay. And I can do lots of other things that are super awesome based on the feedback that I get from Edpuzzle. So I wanted to say thanks for watching. And on behalf of Heather Jeffers, thank you very much for helping out. And if you have any questions, please let a coach know. Bye.